Hello, and welcome to Virtual Investor Conferences. My name is Matt Lateplo, and on behalf of OTC Markets, we're very pleased you have joined us for our next live presentation from Terra Resource Corp. Please note you can submit questions for the presenter in the box to the left of the slides. You can also view a company's availability for one-on-one meetings through the Schedule Meetings tab found on the conference platform. At this point, I'm very pleased to welcome Gerald Panneton, Chairman and CEO of Terra Resource Corp, which trades on the OTCQB venture market under the symbol YGTFF and on the TSXV under the symbol YGT. Welcome, Gerald.
Thank you very much, Matt. It's a pleasure for us at Terra Resources Corp to be able to present on the OTC, and I'd like to thank everybody that will be attending to the presentation this lunchtime on Tuesday, July 23rd. Most importantly, we'd like to welcome everyone, and at the same time move into some of the presentation. Basically, slide. The first few one, of course, are relate to forward-looking statement, as we are a public company listed in Canada and the U.S. Everything in this presentation is of the public domain. And we want to make sure that you read those 2 pages outside of the presentation or before. Now, we're a small junior company surviving a very difficult market, like everybody knows. It's led by a lot of very experimented people, that has been in the industry for a long, long time. I'm going to skip what I've done in the past, and you can always question my background, but I've built 3 gold mines. I was schooled at Barrick Gold for 12 years, and my most recent success was Detour Gold, that is the largest gold mine in Canada now. Mark Brown, my CFO, is part of the team. It's a great accommodation to have a partial CFO with all of his accounting facility to be able to focus on putting the money into the ground. We have a lot of very good mining engineer in our team, 2 of them, Paul Bonville, which is a director, and Louis Dion as a technical advisor. And of course, Joe Campbell is still around as a QP, as the founder of the company in 2008. His involvement started in Yellowknife in 2013, and I joined in 2019 to try to refocus where the company should be going to enhance the value for our shareholders. We have some very good shareholders. We've had some very good support from a number of years. For example, McKinsey is a shareholder for the last 3 years. Has never sold a share. Patience. It's patient is needed in a market like this, especially for junior. We've got a great gold price, as we all know, that went from $1,800 an ounce in November 2023 to $2,400 today. This is a 35% improvement. In the meantime, over the last couple of years, we're fully discounted at 90%. Our valuation is about $10 an ounce, but it's the value. What is the value we can create for our shareholders? Are we going to stay at this level, or are we going to find more gold and be eventually re-rated? In today's world, you need, for a high-grade deposit, which is our focus, about 2 million ounces, which is very important. And one of the things we're going to do is, how do we build value in that environment? How do we build a company that will succeed and keep going? And when I joined 4 years ago, my strategy has not changed. The Yellowknife camp is supported, or the gold environment is basically found along the Campbell Shear. The Campbell Shear is what we call, in geological term, a plumbing system where gold fluids have migrated, have been deposited in different host rock. Outside of the Campbell Shear, you have a lot of smoke, a lot of high-grade stuff as well. So it's not just the Campbell Shear. But where can you find 5 million ounces? That's the question you should ask yourself. I'm going to find 500,000 ounces at Mispecol, at Burwash, or do I want to find 5 million ounces? And the answer was very simple. And I think some people, like, for example, Mackenzie Fund, is in the story because of the Campbell Shear. We've been able to attract more people. There's SSI, Eric Sprott, and Mackenzie Fund, and Ingalls all together look for 25 to 30% of the float of our shares. So between 4 people, we have a lot of very good support. And the Campbell Shear is very important because it mined 14 million ounces between 16 to 22 grams until 2003. So there's been no gold production over the last 21 years. Does it mean it's finished? Not at all. My evaluation of this camp, of the property that we have, can yield many more gold discovery if we had the money and the time to do so. What's missing is the money. The market has been very, very stingent against junior to support their exploration effort to create value. So we're doing it much slower than we will do it in different time. The asset is 70 kilometers of the Campbell Shear. The infrastructures are there. We're in town. In the winter, we drill for less than $200 per meters Canadian. It's an amazing achievement, and it's amazing setup for us to be able to explore. Everybody goes home at night, and that's very important. And not only that, there's a huge parallel in the option we're doing with Newmont to support our effort to bring back another gold mine in the Yellowknife camp. It's obvious for me that the chances of going into production sooner and faster than anybody else that is outside of a camp is due to the mining lease associated with the Con mine. How do you think I built Detour Gold from IPO to gold pour in 6 years? That's because we had the Detour Lake surface lease. The same thing applies for the Con mine. The Con mine is your ticket for less longer period of time for permitting because it's already permitted. That's what it is. That's the answer. Now, what do we have? How much gold do we have, and how big is the property? Well, we have a lot of work. We are completing our master hole, which is hole 56. You should hear a lot more about it very soon. We've reached depth that I would have never thought I would be drilling to. And of course, our potential to increase the ounces following this master hole completion by wedging off or branching off at different elevation will generate a window potential of 1.2 million ounces below the shaft. And I'll go into the detail a bit later. In 2025, we want to be more aggressive. Hopefully, financing, share price will help limit the dilution of the stock, but at the same time, allowed us to be more aggressive in our drilling to demonstrate the huge potential of high-grade mineralization there is in Yellowknife. Following a target of 2 million ounces plus that we are aiming for, don't forget, we already have, I would say, of the 1.8 million ounces that we have in the company, more than 65% of those ounces are already accounting into a decision for building a mine. Now, we need to finish our work. We need to drill more. And hopefully the market will be supporting us. We'll find the money to complete. But there's no question we definitely could be in production much faster than most of the people because of our potential, the mining lease, and the potential. We've expanded the resource already. It's about 1.8 million ounces. 45% of that contributed at the Con mine, almost 540,000 ounces near surface. I'll go over that in a moment. And of course, you can look at our land package, which is amazing. 900 plus square kilometers. You're looking at close to 600 square miles. Focusing on the 14 million ounces Campbell Shear production, infrastructure in place. Everybody goes home at night. Very, very importantly. So you don't have to lodge them. You don't have to feed them. And of course, expand the mineral resource estimate of the Con mine. The latest one was 2022, September 22. We hopefully will be able to drill enough to update you sometime by the end of 24 or sometime in 2025. Now, if you look at a picture looking at the Con mine, what is the Con mine? The Con mine produced 6 million ounces at between 16 to 20 grams from two deposits, the Con Shear and the Campbell Shear, two sub-parallel shear. Con Shear, not very big, 1 million ounces, 20 grams, but the Campbell Shear, 5 million ounces at 16 grams, and adding the giant mine, which is on top. But the beauty about this deposit is that it has a lot of potential. As I said, they're both dipping to the west. They're both striking roughly north-south. You have a section here on the page 10 that shows you the behavior of those two shear zones, and where is the potential. And our first target was, how many ounces can we find near surface? Because if you start a mine, you don't want to be starting the mine at depth. You want to be starting the mine at surface. It buys you time. It allows you to start earlier while you're defining the resource becoming reserve at depth. It comes with a lot of infrastructures, the con mine. It comes with a warehouse, with a water treatment plant, with all the road, the infrastructure. It comes with a pond. I would say that this property comes with $100 million, plus all in infrastructure, plus all the potential to find more. So in our compilation of all the information previously acquired through the years until it closed in 2003, we were able to generate long section. Long section, basically, you're looking towards the west, south is on your left, north is on your right, and you see the potential of what we found, 540,000 ounces near surface, mainly in two zones. We have more work to do. We have some more work to do between the two red boxes that you see on the slide. But where can I find another million ounces was the big question. So in our compilation, we review the deep drilling target area, and we felt that the deposit, which had even some mineralization near the bottom of the mine, unmined or partially mined, that we decided to go after and go at depth. So our first hole, which we did in 2023, was very successful. Hole 55, our first deep hole, intersected the Campbell Shear in a zone 13 grams over 1.7 meters. Not super, but proving the model is there, no question. And with a shaft that goes down all the way to 1900 meters, we could reaccess the ore below the mine with a ramp. We don't have to deepen the shaft. That's definitely. The shaft was built in 1970. It was completed in 1977. Today, a shaft like this will cost somewhere between $120 to $200 million US. It's a huge asset if you want to reuse it. We will have to, of course, to resurface it, put an head frame, put hoists, clean up the shaft, dewater the shaft, which is not a big thing. If there's one thing that is not that expensive, is dewatering. Depending on the number of ponds, it could take you 3 months. And then you can access some platform for drilling at depth to define the resource that we're intending to prove out. So following our hole 55, we decided to give it a show, or give it a shot at 600 meters below surface. So that's what we did. And our hole, you can see both holes actually, the one done in 2023 and the one done in 2024. We're almost done with the one in 2024. Why I'm saying this? Because you can see on the slide that we went steeper than the first one. So instead of flattening, our hole steepened. So it's kind of like you go away from the shear zone. Now the hole is in great shape. There is no wedges. There is HQ rod all the way down to almost 1,800 meters. And we're going to start wedging roughly at 2,000 meters to intersect the Campbell Shear at better angle. So basically, it's like having a trunk or a master hole from which we're going to be branching at, say, every 50 or 100 meters elevation from 2,700 all the way to 1,900. We don't need the 3,000 meters intersection. Why I'm saying this is because if you want to mine in 3,000 meters, it's going to be 15 to 20 years down the road. So what you want to do is branch off to what you see as the next phase of developing the mine, which is between 2,000 and 2,500 meters vertical. That's what we're targeting. And within this, because we think that there's 1 million ounces every 200 meters, we could define a couple of million ounces along the trend, which is 1 kilometer and over 500-600 meters vertical. This is the window where 1 or 2 million ounces could be demonstrated. It will take approximately a couple of years with one rig wedging off from the master hole. So this is our investment we did in 2024. Have a master hole from which we can branch off and get all those intersections. Now, I'd like to show you what was at the bottom of the mine that was partially mined, that was not completely mined. This area that you see on the slide was at 7,900 level, basically 1,900 meters below surface, using a ram to reach it. Look at the grade. This is not silver. 534 gram over 20 meters. I went back and looked at the log, and then I realized this is 3,000 meters, 3,000 gram over 3 meters. So the zone, the footwall zone of that intersection was amazing. The up dip hole was 80 gram over 7 meters, which is normal. You're not going to repeat 3,000 gram over 3 meters all the time. But it's just show you the potential of jewelry pocket exists in this mine, not as before, but completely. And the beauty about that deposit is that it is non-refractory, free milling below 1,000 meters. So you're looking at what NERCO was achieving, 95% recovery using gravity circuit with a flotation and cyanide plant after. No question in my mind that this deposit has a lot of more legs to be defined and be mined at depth below the current mine. There's no question about that. So when you look at the potential that we have there, it's amazing. It's just a matter of time to drill test this window. In Archean geology, and I'm sorry if I'm using the term Archean geology, these deposits are relatively very old. The shear zone in general are flattened, very vertical, and continuous for 3, 4, 5, 6 kilometers. What is the deepest mine in Canada? 3,400 meters below surface. La Ronde in Quebec, along the Cadillac, Larder Lake, or in the Bousquet camp, basically, which is a gold massite sulfide deposit camp. There's no question that this deposit does not stop at 1,900 meters, and it's just a matter of drilling to prove it up. And with the current infrastructure and the surface lease that we have with the Con mine option and finalized with the purchase agreement with Newmont, we intend eventually to find enough ounces to be able to exercise the option as planned. Now, when you look at the Con mine or the Campbell shear, I just want to show you what it looks like. You have a big shear zone. Look at those boxes. You're looking roughly at 1.5 meters, 5 feet per row. So you're basically looking at a section that illustrates roughly 60 feet of core. So you're looking at roughly 15 to 18 meters of core. And at the bottom, in one of the footwall zone of our hole 55, we intersected 13 gram over 1.7 meters. And the key to this was smoky quartz. You could see it right away. Before that, there was no smoky quartz. You knew that there was no chance of having a high-grade hit. So visually, when we see the core, we know we're in there. And that is your Campbell shear. Very wide structure, very continuous at depth and along strike that just need to be finalized. So it's all good. It just need to be drilled. Now, you would think that the Campbell shear, like in every gold camp, look, there's not that many gold camp in Canada. We can all name that within our 10 fingers. And actually, for high grade, you could look at Timmins, Hollinger, McIntyre's, and the Dome Mine. You can look at Val-d'Or, the Sigma-Lamaque deposit. You can look at Red Lake. You can look at Hamlo. And then you can look at Yellowknife, 16 to 20 gram. Jewelry pocket, an excellent potential. And just to show you, about 2 years ago, we went on with a proper drill program in the winter, testing an area where there was a lot of smoke and a lot of drilling in the past, but not drill systematically like I will do it. So I was able to do it in 2022. And guess what? We find a zone 400 meters to the north of the original discovery. And we find another vein, and you can see it very quickly, 32 grams over 32 grams over 3 meters on a beautiful quartz vein. And I know that this vein probably will never, or could reach 1 million ounces one day. But to start with, it's probably a 500,000 ounces, 1,000,000 ounces deposit. It's not a 5 million ounces target, but definitely it's a 1,000,000 ounces target. So it's a good satellite deposit. It's a good satellite finding. And we plan to go back next winter. Hopefully, with support, with the financial support we would like to get, we should be able to go back and drill next winter our mystical area, as well as the Campbell Shear north of the Giant Mine. Those are our two exploration targets that we'd like to do. We're not going to spend a lot of money on this, maybe $1.2 million. That's 6,000 meters at $200 a meter. This is very cheap exploration. Think about it. Even my deep drilling, if I spend $5 million and I find 1,000,000 ounces below the mine, it's a $5 an ounce discovery cost. That's what make Gold Terra one of the best venues to explore for high grade with infrastructure in town with a surface lease. The reason we're there, it's because of all of this. This is one of the best high grade property in Canada due to its short circuit permitting, the value of the deposit being high grade, and the infrastructure, which means everybody goes home at night. In a sense, we have one of the best situations where we have the surface lease, so we're not disturbing a new area. We have excellent community relationship. We do town meeting on a regular basis. We're going to be doing another one sometime in October when I visit the site after the September. We have our engagement plan with all the community and the local workforce supportive, and our social responsibility. Remember, a social license, be transparent. You're a guest, listen to your host. It's very important. And finally, this is your goal. We want to produce gold again. This was our first gold bar at Detour, and we want to repeat this in Yellowknife, and we look forward to do so. And in the meantime, I'm going to be checking on some of the questions that we have in the chat. I would like to thank you very much for listening to the presentation. So my first question is, did you hit the Campbell Shear with the deep hole? Well, the drilling is still progressing, and the chances that we're going to get through the Campbell Shear is very limited because of the angle and the Campbell Shear. Like I explained before in one of the sections, the Campbell Shear dips about 70 degrees. Sometimes the Campbell Shear could be offset. We were expecting the Campbell Shear to be hit around 27 to 2,800 meters. We did not hit it because the hole is too steep. So to be able to intersect a shear zone, you want to be crossing it almost at a perpendicular angle. So when you drill a deep hole, you don't try to correct your deep hole because it's a master in which you want to wedge. For example, we did too many wedge to correct the first hole, 55, and we had to abandon it because it was impossible to work with. This hole, 56, has zero wedge. It's completely intact. Plus, it has what we call a tubing of 1,800 meters almost, 1,760, I think, of HQ that we leave in the hole, which basically is like a shell to protect. And most of the wedging is going to happen between 1,700 and 2,100 meters. So all of those wedging we're going to be doing will give us the information between 2,700 meters to serve to basically 1,900 meters to have a lot of intersection. We're planning to do approximately somewhere between 10 to 20 branch off the master hole over the next couple of years at a cost of roughly a budget of $4 or $5 million over the next 2 years. So this is our plan. Did we intersect the Campbell Shear like the way we wanted to do it? No, because the hole stayed too steep. But our hole is in perfect condition. This is our platform to wedge off. Now I'm going to go to the next question because I think there's only 5 minutes left. Yeah, so we were targeting exactly what I said. I think I answered your question just before. Near-term catalyst basically is a follow-up on completing the hole as we speak, as well as starting the wedge program. We're taking a break. The drillers need a break. Our team needs a break. So we're taking a short break sometime in August. And then we should be back on the wedging process sometime on September 1st after the break that we're going to be taking, because we're going to be then wedging for the next 12 to 24 months. I have another question. Said, did you intersect the Campbell shear? I think we just answered that question. We did not intersect it at 26.50. We've had indication quite often because we were so close to it. Unfortunately, our hole was still 84 degree. We started the hole at 82, and it steepened. So that's the reason why we did not intersect and have a good intersection, and that's why we're going to be wedging now. Again, another question, basically, who explained that the fact that no, we did not intersect the Campbell shear as of today. And stay in touch. If we intersected, you're going to hear about it. You'll be the public will be, because we'll press release immediately if we're to hit the Campbell shear. But the chances to hit the Campbell shear at depth, no, we're going to have to wedge off. And mainly because the hole was stay steep the whole time. So hopefully with the wedging, you're going to be able to have some very good intersection before the end of the year. Seems that I answered the last question. And we have about a couple of minutes left. If there is no other question, I hope I was able to answer all of them. And I would like to thank all of the audience for listening to the OTC's platform today with Gold Terra. This is a high-grade story. This is one of the best high-grade story in Canada, no question in my mind. Established in the town of Yellowknife with amazing infrastructure and the support of the local communities. And we look forward to advance our project in the current near terms. I would like to thank John very much for assisting in the audio and electronic service of this presentation, and like to thank everybody for attending it and the